It's appropriate that I'm reviewing Black Panther on Valentine's Day because I bloody love this movie probably more than I love my girlfriend. That's not actually true, she's a sweetheart. Happy Valentine's Day, Amy, woo! You know, I've given a fair amount of criticism to MCU movies in the past and I'm often fairly jaded and cynical when it comes to their overly familiar territory, but to their credit, there is definitely a reason they've stuck around so long and resonate with such a massive audience. And it isn't just the shiny explosions, or else we'd be on the 27th iteration of some god-awful Transformers spin-off at this point. No, it's because despite its occasionally formulaic nature, it is a genuinely well-constructed and smart continuity that's intelligently made its own future marketing part of its narratives. And, more importantly, every time it feels like it's getting really safe and stale, it throws out an absolute banger of an entry that blows my nips off with such intensity that I expect them to only be found thousands of years from now when we start colonising other planets and they're discovered to have landed on the surface of Mars. It's so good, man! By my accounts, I definitely reckon it's Marvel's best serious film, and I'm torn as to whether this or the first Guardians film is my favourite overall, but they come from such opposite schools of thought, it's truly hard to compare the two. One similarity they both do have though is that they were created by auteur-directors able to bring their own flavour and voice to the narrative presentation and style. For Black Panther, they couldn't have picked a better visionary than Ryan Coogler, who I am fast developing a huge man crush for, as the guy has so far only made 3 films and every one of them has knocked it out the fucking park. Mate, get one more this great, and I promise I'll update my private bedroom love shrine to you to a public living room one. Go on, son. I know you can do it. Seriously, I can't express how much this guy brings to the table. I realise films aren't solely crafted on the effort of one guy, but you can tell through the whole production that it's a particularly great leader at the head of this film. There's a real execution of a clear, articulate vision here that I don't know what to tell you, just feels different. Sure, if I absolutely had to be critical, I could say it gets a little wobbly on the CG from time to time, but that's such a minor, nitpicky grievance with a film that legitimately feels like a breath of fresh air in an oversaturated market. With this and last year's Logan, I don't feel anymore that pessimistic twats like me really have a leg to stand on in suggesting the superhero movie is overplayed anymore. In fact, looking at solely the MCU's recent output, including this movie, the last 4 films they've made have all ranged from really pretty good to outright exceptional, which, by my accounts, is actually the longest streak of real tangible quality that they've ever had. I'd go so far as to say we're now far from the often also predicted staleness and eventual death of the genre that even I'll admit was guilty of predicting, as I scoffed at what I believed was a very temporary surge in mainstream popularity that my self-important Ponzi elitism would have had you believe was going to start showing signs of fading by now. But you know what? I was wrong. Sorry, just had to pause to gag on my own words there. Whew. That was weird. What I think we're actually seeing is a true second wave in the superhero film format, one that's driven by talented auteurs who don't make movies in the superhero genre, but rather make genre pieces that happen to star superheroes. Logan was a western, Thor Ragnarok a buddy comedy, Guardians a space opera, Spider-Man Homecoming a coming-of-age high school drama, and now we have Black Panther, which is a political thriller. I know some people will point out that Winter Soldier was a political thriller, but I personally hate that movie and find it super boring. Unpopular opinion, I know, so please by all means feel free to insult me and say I'm a moronic soy boy who probably shags donkeys or some shit. I promise you I won't care. Besides, even if Winter Soldier did beat Black Panther to the political punch, which, let's be fair, it did. I may not like it, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to acknowledge its credibility as something new and different in the MCU at the time. Panther is still a completely different thing entirely. This is more than just Iron Man with a new setting and a different suit. It feels like a genuine game changer, and I mean that. That shit isn't just a marketing tagline. This is the MCU at the most mature it has ever been, with strong themes and debate on a hotbed of complex topics like nationalism, the refugee crisis, colonialism, identity, ancestry, Black America, foreign aid, patriotism, and that's just the tip of the iceberg in a film that offers perspectives from multiple sides on difficult discussions while seamlessly integrating such subject matters into a brilliant character-driven narrative that's as engaging and entertaining as it is complex. It does this crazy thing where it walks this brilliant fine line of being an extremely fun crowd pleaser and a movie with conscious ideas of the world around us. It's the kind of film that you could take your nan, your conservative philosophy tutor, and your liberal sociology professor to, and I reckon they'd all find it extremely compelling, each for different reasons. It's just bloody brilliant. It also looks and sounds great. From the bouncing action scenes inside a South Korean casino, to the stunning flyovers of African wilderness, to the Afro-techno secret world of Wakanda which seamlessly blends traditional tribal imagery with imaginative technology, it's a setting like no other. One that feels lived in and real. This is also aided by fantastic, vivid performances by an extremely talented cast who all carry these exceptionally well-written characters with strong, well-established motivations who bounce off another with perfect chemistry. This goes especially for Michael B. Jordan's character Eric, who is, and I say this with no degree of uncertainty,
the best villain the MCU has ever had. Ever. Yes, that means better than Loki.
Loki is a lot of fun and has a good series of films to hone his persona over, but Eric here is fucking outstanding from the get-go. Grounded and sympathetic, yet capable of being fiercely intimidating, there's nothing else in the MCU like him. I mean, granted, I may be biased because I adore Michael B. Jordan, but in all sincerity, I do think his performance and character stands out as something truly special in a movie already filled with exceptional work from all members of the cast. He's so good, there are times when I really don't know who I was rooting for. Sure, T'Challa is the hero and all that, but there were moments where I was thinking, actually, Big T, I reckon my boy Eric's got some pretty compelling points here, you know? Team Eric. And that's the beauty of Black Panther, at its core, really. It's human. There's no big, bad evil out to destroy the world. There are just people. People who can be troubled and selfish, people who are victims of circumstance, people having to make tough decisions between the love of their country and the love of their family. No one in this film is a bad person. Well, except maybe Andy Serkis's character, who's an arms dealer and an absolute wanker. But he's a fun wanker, so we'll let him have it. Other than that, none of these people are bad. There's just times when the world made them that way. And as you follow T'Challa's growth and journey of self-discovery of what it means to be a king in a land full of divisiveness, you get this cathartic joy in knowing that even in reality, amongst all the confusion, there's maybe some hope for healthy discussion. Because if a huge blockbuster isn't shying away from the big questions, then more and more people are going to be exposed to ideas they hadn't even considered. And yeah, I do have criticisms. It perhaps runs a little bit too long. Eric's girlfriend is kind of a pointless character. And even amongst all the risks it takes, it still can't help itself but to play it safe with a big, overblown CG heavy battle in the third act. But that doesn't change the fact that 95% of the time, it hits its target. And when it does, it hits hard, with compelling social commentary, riveting plot, and fun action. Black Panther is fantastic, and I can't wait to see more of these characters in their world. All I can say is, gan bloody watch it.